Welcome back to the mix. I'm ABD. Today we have a Stratocaster guitar from Fender, and it's from Pro Audio Star. And you may be familiar with their website. You may have seen that sometimes they have deals where their guitars are very cheap, and they usually sell them as B stock and sometimes as used. But I'm here to tell you that if you get a used guitar from Pro Audio Star, that you will not be getting a used guitar. You'll be getting a B stock guitar, because I got a Strat for about $520. The Player Series Strats go for about $800 now. Ew. But I was able to get one from Pro Audio Star for about $520, and I was very interested to see what it would be when it came. And when it came, it had a number of issues. The frets, ends, very sharp all the way up and down the neck. The frets themselves were not crowned at all, so they were all flat, and that messes up the intonation. None of them have been crowned or rounded. They're all just completely flat. And so one of the things that does is it messes up the intonation for every single fret, because it's all moved up a little bit this way, because it's flat. So instead of the note being played to the center of the fret, it's being played to the end of the fret this way, in the end of the fret this way, in this way, in this way, and this way. Because the frets need to be able to come to a small point, a ball point on each fret to be able to intonate correctly. And if they're all flat, that means that it's basically intonating to the end of the fret. So if it's flat, it's all the way to this end, and this end, and this end, all the way up the neck of the guitar. And besides that, it wasn't set up well. I don't know if they set it up at all. And the tuners just seemed to be not very good. So let's take that Strat and let's do some work to it. We're going to change the pickguard to a very cool pickguard from a company called Carmedon, which I wasn't familiar with until I was scrolling through Reverb, and I saw a very cool orange pickguard, and I clicked it, and I started looking through the other ones, and I saw a bunch of pickguards that really stand out. If you haven't heard of Carmedon, check them out, but we'll get to that in a second. We also have two single coil pickups from Tonerider, and they are the pure vintage line. And then for the bridge, we actually have a humbucker. We're going to make the guitar an HSS Super Strat type thing, and then we're going to put locking tuners on it as well. So let's get to all of that good stuff, and then we'll come back here and we'll try out the guitar and see how it sounds and all that good stuff. So take it away, me. Let's hear how it sounds with the pickups that we have in it before we change it. And then we'll put it on the bench and we'll do that work. So on a kind of clean setting on the neck pickup, we get this. So I don't know if you can tell, but you can hear the intonation is a little off there. And the other thing that I didn't mention is the nut. The D string is cut too low. So when you play it open, you get buzz, and that's on the first fret because the nut is cut too low. So we're going to fix that too. So they're not really my favorite sounding pickups, and that's one of the reasons why we're going to change them. But before we do that, let's hear it on a high gain kind of amp. So here we have a pickguard from Carmedon Guitar Products, and they make some pretty cool stuff. When I saw their pickguards, I was browsing on Reverb, and I saw one of their pickguards, and immediately it grabbed my attention because it was distinctive, bold, and colorful, and just really cool looking. But then it wasn't until I went to their website and I saw all the cool stuff that they offer that I thought I have to get one for the build that I'm doing now. So the model that we have here is called the Jerry Psychedelic, and you can maybe guess what that looks like, but let's open it up and take a look at what it does in fact look like. Kind of paper envelope. On this side we have a tab that we can pull, and then inside here we have the pickguard wrapped in a nice foam. You can kind of pull that out together, and you can already kind of see what we have, but what we have is a psychedelic type HSS pickguard for a Stratocaster. So a humbucker in the bridge, two single coils there, and a tie-dye kind of design. Very, very beautiful. On the back, you have some shielding to avoid feedback and stuff like that. And on the front, you have this beautiful art. We also have another one of their most popular pickguards here, the McFly, and you can guess why it's called that. That looks really cool. And with the pickguard inside the packaging, you also get this little piece of paper, and you can follow them on Instagram at Carmedon_. So check them out. Thank you to them for sending out these pickguards, and let's get to installing it on the Strat. So the way that this works is you have a file here, and you can see that it's kind of rounded in there, and we use that to round the actual frets. You can tape off the frets if you want to, but you run it back and forth, and try to keep it straight, And you also kind of try to follow the curvature of the radius, 9.5 in this case, and you kind of switch back and forth between the two sides until you have crowned the individual frets. And then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to smooth the edges of the frets here. And so we have some sandpaper. It's some pretty kind of low grit, and we just go back and forth on the neck here where the individual frets meet from the fretboard to the back to the side of the neck, and eventually we'll smooth all of that out. And the other thing that we're going to do is the nut, specifically the slot that was cut for the D string, was cut too low. So we filled that little hole in with the glue, and we'll let it cure and dry, and then we can file it down. And then you can see the fretwork that we did here by crowning the frets and then smoothing the edges of the fretboard. So now we can get to taking this pickguard off so we can get the new pickups and all that good stuff. So we got the screws for the pickguard off, and now we can lift the whole thing up and see what's underneath. So we can change it to the new pickguard. So in here you can see the routing. It is routed for 2 humbuckers if you want to do that in the bridge and in the neck. And it has some shielding in there and a grounding right there and some kind of barcode right there. But we will take this pickguard off and get the new one installed. And so for our pickguard from Carmedon, we have some pure vintage pickups from Tonerider. And these are Alnico 5, but they are more vintage output, like a 50s or 60s Strat. And then we have cream covers to put on those. And then we have a humbucker that we're going to put in the bridge to make it an HSS type Strat. So let's get to that, putting the pickups inside the pickguard. And now we have the pickguard all ready to go. Look at that. That looks even better than I thought it would. The back here, we have to get that wiring all set up, but for now it looks really great, and it's going to look even better in the guitar. So let's get to it. And just like that, we have everything wired up. We have all the pickups grounded to that pot right there, and then we have everything soldered up correctly up there, and we are good to go. Turn the pickguard around, screw it in, and then we can test it out and make sure the pickups work. And we are back. The guitar's finished. Thoughts? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Pickguard from Carmedon, Jerry Psychedelic, a type of tie-dye pickguard. 2 single coil pickups from Tonerider, pure vintage, Alnico 5. In the bridge, a humbucker, an Alnico 3 humbucker from Planet Tone pickups. On the back, locking tuners from Schaller. The neck, the fret ends are much smoother. Almost perfect. I might do a little more work. And then of course the actual frets are crowned so it actually plays correctly now. So let's plug it in to an amp and hear how it sounds. For that I'm actually using the X-Vive U2 wireless system. No wires, no cables, over the air. So on the neck, clean, here's what you get. Into that noise canceling position. And then to the humbucker. If we add a Tubescreamer, here's what we get. On the neck, noise canceling, we get. If we go back to the humbucker. And then if we turn on a rat type distortion, we get. Back to the single coil. And then with a fuzz. And back to the humbucker. So if we go back to clean and put some chorus and some delay on there, here's what we get. We add a Klon type overdrive to that, here's what we get. Or a Klon type boost. Really, it sounds great. These pickups from Tonerider I think sound amazing. The Pure Vintage series, they definitely sound a lot better than the Fender Player series pickups. And then Planet Tone, we have an El Nico 3, which I think El Nico 3 just sounds great. It's a really great classic sound. You've heard it on a ton of records. Gibson has it in a ton of guitars. You don't really see El Nico 3 as much anymore, but I still love the way that it sounds. And then El Nico 5, of course, for the single coils. The pickguard just looks incredible. Again, Carmedon. Check them out. They have a bunch of really cool pickguards. If you don't like this one, they probably have something that you'll like. And yeah, X5 wireless system, if you were wondering what we use to connect it wirelessly. And I'm happy. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. I think we took a Strat that needed a lot of work, that was kind of a dud, and we turned it into a super Strat. A super fantastic looking and sounding guitar. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that, like, subscribe, all that good stuff down below. And we'll probably have more content with this guitar. We do have more content with Tonerider pickups coming up, so look forward to those. Thank you to Carmedon for sending out the pickguard. Thank you to Tonerider for sending out these pickups. And Planet Tone, I bought that, so thank you to me. And until next time, play guitar and be awesome and psychedelic like the pickguard. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. And then for the, on the back, locking tuners from Schaller. Beautiful, shiny locking tuners, keeping it in tune, making it easier to restring it.